welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. Y'all already know, man, we got some things we need to talk about, but before we get started, if you could for me, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man. Y'all already know. Also, tomorrow, I know it's Easter. If you're celebrating, hope everybody has a decent holiday, a great holiday. But I will be posting a video or possibly going live for like a few minutes. If y'all hop in there, we can talk whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna go live tomorrow, sometime after like 5 or 6. So I want to eat, chill with my family, all that good stuff. But possibly like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna give away the last Eagles jersey. So all you got to do to be entered in, I've said it plenty of times, is just go over to the. Is this hopefully this is recording right? My fault. But hopefully just go subscribe to the channel and then I'm gonna enter your name into the will and then go from there, get your information and send you out, your free Eagles jersey. You can get one of these back here or you can get something else. So with that being said, man, let's get into what we need to talk about today pertaining to the Philadelphia Eagles. As you guys know, or if you don't know, the draft is coming up this week. As you should be known, we do have the 32nd pick, which is the last pick because we won the Super Bowl. You feel me? So, yeah, but long story short, man, we got the 32nd pick. A lot of people coming in for top 30 visits over these last few months. The most recent ones, and I think some of the biggest ones, are Malachi Starks and then Walter Nolen as a recent. I seen that information about Walter Nolen yesterday. Shout out to all the Philadelphia Eagles Instagram pages and Twitters and stuff like that, man, to keep your boy up to date with the information. But Walter Nolen coming in here is showing me that Howie's still sticking to his old ways, man. He likes the trenches. He likes the offensive line and the defensive line. As you know, interior defense is yeah, it is and was key in the Super Bowl because if you can get that pocket to collapse, and I always say this, if you can speed a QB's clock up, you have the advantage every time. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. It don't matter who it is, man. You can be the greatest quarterback ever, but if those dogs get to you, they got you. So, hopefully Walter Nolen is one of the top targets. Shout out to my man Pablo. He made a video, I want to say about a couple weeks ago. Maybe it might have been a month now, but a couple weeks ago talking about Walter Nolen. And now it's been more information coming out now that he's had his top 30 visit with the Philadelphia Eagles, that it might be, a key target for the Philadelphia Eagles. So now, with that also being said, we have a host of picks this season, or in this draft, excuse me. And I think they're going to have to be able to use maybe one or two of those picks, maybe package somebody like a Dallas Goedert to a different team to get some picks because he's also on the trade block as well. But might have to move up to get Walter Nolen. I feel like Starks could possibly fall to the second round in a situation like we saw with Cooper DeJean. I know some of his testing didn't go too well, but all in all, he's still a great athlete, man. I know we bounce back and forth with the testing. What is it, the RAS scores and all that? So, and it is helpful, but at the same time, we have great coaches now in the building. Shout out to Clint Hurt. Shout out to Vic Fangio. I don't want to forget nobody. Bobby King, Washburn, Roy Anderson, all those guys, man, play a part in the players that we bring in here. So I feel as though, like, Walter Nolen probably is the top target for the Philadelphia Eagles at this moment in time. Pairing him with somebody like Jalen Carter, Moro Jamo, that line is going to be nasty, bro. Nasty. So hopefully like I said, he's the top pick. I will be going live. What is it, Wednesday or Thursday for the draft? It seemed to be a huge success last year with Quinion, so we're gonna do it again, man. We're gonna keep it rolling and see what the Philadelphia Eagles have in mind. But there are other positions, like I said, safety, cornerback is another area where I would say Starks could possibly fit a couple of those positions because he plays in the box, he can play the corner, and he can play the nickel. So um, yeah, man. So we'll see what they do. And like I said, it's just other picks that it could possibly go a different way depending on how the board falls. But I'm feeling and I'm leaning towards the draft kind of falling the way it fell last year because there are teams that need quarterbacks and other pieces. You just never know. Howie Roseman spoke to this in his press conference this past week, saying that you never know the vision of another team. Like I said, and I talked about Cooper DeJean falling to the second round, and then they had released a War Room video last year for the Cooper DeJean pick, And you can see that Howie and Jeffrey Lurie were like, damn, that's it. Because they thought the Rams were going to pick Cooper DeJean. They ended up picking Braden Fisk or whatever the case may be. So you just never know what a team is looking for. So we'll see. We'll see what we'll see what the Philadelphia Eagles do. But I feel as though whatever pick that they do make, just make sure it's the best player available at that pick. 'Cause I feel like we don't really need to get too freaky in the draft, man. We still got a great team, man. I know we lost some pieces, but we still have a great team. And you ain't got to bring in, you want to bring in talented players, but they ain't got to be the greatest players, man. You still want to make sure that, you bring them in here, you develop the player to your liking, and make sure that they got a fighting chance on that field. So, but let's move on, man. And talk about, as y'all know, Dallas Goedert being on the trade block. He's been linked to the Giants, which is crazy because I know they're tired of getting fleeced by Howie Roseman. But they were talking about doing a swap between Dallas Goedert and Kevin Thibodeau, as they say his last name. Young linebacker, very, very good. I like him. I like him. Now his stats for this year were he had 14 assisted tackles and 5.5 sacks, but the year before that he had 24 assisted tackles and 11.5 sacks. So you add him to this line, I feel like that sack total can go up. Playing with Zach Bond. But that's another area that I feel like we need to bolster up, linebacker position, for the simple fact that Nakobe Dean, the injury that he sustained, we don't know how he's going to come back from that. You feel what I'm saying? Now, Nakobe Dean had an exceptional year before his injury, but this is the game of football, man. It's sad to see, but we still have to make sure that there's depth at that position or at any position. You grow a liking to these players, and you hate to see these things happen, but this is the business. So shout out to Nakobe Dean, but if they can bring in Kayvon, I don't see why. I don't see that being a problem at all. I think they also been in contact with some linebackers in the upcoming draft as well. And we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what they do. But Howie always talks about being aggressive. I know he wants to win another Super Bowl. Jeffrey Lurie wants to win another Super Bowl. We all want to win another Super Bowl, man. So I don't see how this can go left at all, man. Just stick to the plan, man. As long as we don't do no huff, no huff signing deals, the contract, we should be good to go. Even speaking of Huff, they had Huff linked to the 49ers for the simple fact that Robert Saleh, I think it's Robert's first name, yes, but Saleh is back with them, and he did pretty well. He spoke pretty well of Bryce Up over his career, especially when he had him with the Jets. So we'll see how that goes, man. But I'm expecting a decent trade during draft night. I'm expecting a blockbuster or a splash trade with all the picks that we have. So we'll see, man. But I know Howie's working on something for sure. Like I said, he said he wants to be aggressive this year, and he also even talked about. I know he had talked about some of the comments he had made about the sexual assault thing and things like that. I know, was it Mike Green? He had I guess you could say accusations. You feel what I'm saying? But and that's not a laughing matter. But yeah, it's accusations, and I don't know if that deters them from trying to go after him as well. But they said it's a criteria that they look at, so it might not X him out the box. Really didn't comment too much on Dallas Goedert's future either. So that's what I'm feeling like he might be trade bait for. Excuse me, he might be trade bait for draft night. Like I said, it's gonna be sad to see him go, but we got to keep building. We got to keep getting better. Um, but and he also, and one other thing is, he said he wanted to stay young in the trenches as well. That's why I'm also leaning toward the Walter Nolen pick for the first pick of draft night. So like we'll see. Like I said, we'll see how it goes. But you gotta know Howie a lawyer, man. He don't really give he don't really give too much information. Like he gives you information, but he don't give you too much information. He also spoke to the fact that a lot of times that they use previous players that they liked to gauge how they draft the next player. Excuse me, yo, my allergies have been acting up. Oh, I'm sorry, but how they gauge the next player. He said each draft they do over like 500 cases on different players that they have interest in, and at any moment in time they can go to that database, pull that information, compare it to the player that they might think this player reminds them of, and go from there. So I thought that was great to hear, because you got to think like they bringing in 30 players, and they're over here doing 500 plus, 500 plus, different gathering different information on 500 plus players is crazy. So They talked about how Howie, how Howie or something like Nick Sirianni walks into his office and Howie's watching the player and he's like, "Have you seen this player before?" So, shout out to Howie Roseman, man. It's like he takes no days off, and that's the reason why we keep being able to do what we do with this team, man. Being able to get back to the playoffs each year, now getting to multiple Super Bowls and winning the Super Bowl this year. So you can't be mad at that, and I can't be mad at the aggressive nature that Howie possesses. So, he's a wizard when it comes to this draft thing because y'all left it in my hands, boy, y'all might hate me. I think I'm pretty good at assessing talent, but at the same time, like it's so many other things that go into it, even the personality traits that he spoke towards, where like Big Dom will probably come into play with that. He is a great source of finding information on different players and people and things like that. Um, so we'll see, man. We'll see what they do. I'm trying to make sure I ain't had nothing else here for y'all. Um, but yeah, so long story short, man, I'm gonna just go back over what we talked about. But we talked about Walter Nolen possibly being the number one target for the Philadelphia Eagles. As you know, they love the trenches. So he might draft him first. You might have to move up. You might have to move up to get a Walter Nolen, man, because he did have other top 30 visits, which we expected, but um, the interior defense though is a very, very. I feel like that's the sneaky pick right there. I know we all keep leaning toward safety Malachi Starks, but me personally, I feel like Malachi beat her at the end, not the end, but he could fall to the second round because, and that's something else I'm also going to do. I'm gonna do me a little mock draft before our draft comes up, and just go through there. I might do like two or three, do some trades, and then do one straight, whatever the case may be, and just see what we come up with. Go live, whatever the case is, and we can go through it and see what we come up with. Because usually I ain't gonna lie, like I did PFF last year. I got the PFF app or the PFF the subscription thing, and I used it, and it was pretty accurate. I'm not gonna lie. I know the board fell a little weirdly because all the quarterbacks came off last year, but it was somewhat some of it was pretty accurate. So shout out to PFF, but yeah, top 30 visits. Focus on the defense and the versatility so far, and just like how we cook, man. That's what we got. So with that being said, man, I really do appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. As y'all know, like I said, Sunday tomorrow we're going to have the free jersey giveaway. If you would like to be entered in to the giveaway, you have to be subscribed to the channel and your page has to be public. All right. So with all that being said, it's now from the No Cut Sports Podcast. Once again, I really do appreciate y'all supporting your boy, man. And with that being said, before we get out of here, can we get a go birds, baby? Shout out to the Super Bowl champions, your Philadelphia Eagles, man. I'ma holla at y'all. Y'all be safe.